Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Today I am super excited to bring to you a Christmas in the Summer project with our friends over at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creation. This project, let me see if I get some better lighting. This project is going to be kind of quick, depending on how fast you cut your paper. And the project is, ta-da! A tree advent calendar using the boxes that I made during earlier this year using photo plays those summer days when I made the 6-drawer organizer. So we're going to go ahead and use that those same boxes. For this one, I used Photo Plays Mad for Plaid. This one's going to be for my son. Specific rules for my son: no glitter, no glitz, nothing popping out, no flips, no flaps, no fun. So I think, this one, it's still beautiful. It has the wow factor, but it is very simple, clean. So those of you who love this simple and clean style, you're going to absolutely love this project. Well, this one here. So I just fussy cut out some ornaments out of one of the pages. Here is the page here that I used from Photo Play Mad for Plaid. I cut these numbers from my Cameo. They're just regular numbers. I cut them out of gold paper because I felt it did need a little bit of glitz and glimmer, but without being glitter, right? This bow, I used the from one of the Christmas packs. So last year, my son's Christmas gifts were wrapped in mossy oak and real tree wrapping paper, and this bow came with it. So I figured this was a man's bow. It came from hunting paper. So I just used regular brads as the pulls. Sorry, I can't do it while I was laying down. So you just pull it out. I didn't pin them all the way flush with the box, so they're like, you see, they're kind of wobbly. So you can just pull them out very easily and put the box back in. For this one, I used the black paper because I just thought that that really made these plaids pop out. Plus, it was more masculine. And then I just used a green piece to cover. I pieced the sides, and then I just used one solid piece for the back. I'm going to write a cute little note to my son on the back here. Use a gold Sharpie marker or something like that. Fill it with, various things for Christmas. So we are going to go ahead and do this project, but we are not going to use Mad for Plaid. We are going to use Authentic Jingle. Why? Because I just got this collection. I think it's super cute. I know you're going to love it. It's in stock. Mad for Plaid is not in stock. I don't know if it's going to come back out during Christmas, but I don't know. We'll find out. You guys should have bought 10 packs of it like I did last year. Okay, I bought 3 packs, but still. So this is the Authentic Jingle. I just found out today that these are not stickers. These are actually ephemera, which I thought was super great to be on a piece of paper where I can see it instead of like in a bag. So I really enjoyed that. That's my spiel. Okay, we'll quickly run through it. So here are the cut-aparts. And on the back of the cut-aparts are some fallen snow. Okay, so they're white polka dots, but for me, they're fallen snow. Next, we have candy cane stripes with some holly. We have Santa doing some Santa things, doing whatever a Santa Claus does. And we have some bows and ribbons. We have some candy, like your traditional candy canes, ribbon candy, peppermints, gumdrops, and then we have some candy ropes. We have gingerbread houses with little gingerbread men and snowmen, and we have snowflakes, and we have cocoa or coffee, whatever you want, and marshmallows. Because I put marshmallows in my coffee. Let me tell you, when I lived in England, I got this thing called a dark chocolate Borgia, which it was basically dark chocolate chips, coffee, cocoa powder, like hot chocolate powder, coconut flavoring, and marshmallows. Delish. My mouth just started watering. We have Christmas trees and snow globes and some doodles border doodles. We have Santa with some old school letter paper. And then we have some letters to Santa in like a little kid's writing. So cute. So I would love to say that I am drinking cocoa with you right now, but that's not the case. It's literally 108 degrees outside. So the closest I'm getting to my cocoa is this right here. That's it. So, okay, to get started, what you guys need are 6, oh man, I just broke my thing. You need 6 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. I am using the Country Craft Creations linen paper. I'm going to use red. So as I'm talking, I need you guys to get 6 sheets out, and I need you to cut them all 6 by 6. So I'm going to give you a second to do that because this is the second time I'm doing this video. The first one, I told you to cut way too much paper, and then my electricity went out and it killed the video anyway. So it worked out. So you just need 6 sheets of paper, cut them at 12 by 12. So basically you should have 24 sheets of paper when you're done, because 6 times 4 is 24. Yeah, that's all you need. Okay, I'm going to put this away, and hopefully you guys are cutting along. You're going to need your scoreboard. You're going to need whatever scoring tool you use. You're going to need whatever paper collection of your choice, numbers of your choice. You know, it would be really cute too if you have any of the Photo Play, the Christmas paper from last year. Not Milk and Cookies, but the other one. Was it Milk and Cookies? I don't know. But that one has cut aparts in it. When I made the Advent Calendar book, that's what I used. That'd be really cute as well. I am a Photo Play girl this week, apparently. But this one's authentic jingle we're going to use. So I hope you guys are all done cutting. So you need to put 12 sheets to one side and 12 sheets. Well, just separate them into 12 sheets. Okay, 2 piles, 12 sheets. So this is where our boxes. I use these boxes again on the summer project that I did, the 6-drawer organizer. Oh, I don't know what fell. Something fell, but I don't know what it was. So these are the ones that one set of boxes are going to have a very easy measurement, and the other one's going to have like a funky measurement. So just bear with me. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. You know, you're welcome to use score tape, or you could use your tape runners if you're making these boxes for older kids or adults, because there is a lot of in and out in the boxes. But if you use your tape runner, I mean, I feel like the more you use it, it's going to come undone. But if it's just going to be for an older kid, you know, they're not going to want to play with it afterwards. So it's totally up to you. Okay, I hope everyone is done cutting. If not, just cut along. So I'm going to do the measuring in real time. So we are following a 2x2 box. This is where, if you have a Martha Stewart board, it's going to be easier for you. If you don't, it's just going to be a tiny little hiccup in what you need to do on the other ones. But for 12 of them, we're just going to go at 2 and 4 on both sides. Just your regular old box. So we'll throw that over there. If my camera starts auto focusing, I'm sorry. I still have not got around to getting a new one. So everything is 2 and 4. Paddington, no. Okay, so 2 and 4. Of course, you know, when I start the video, that's when my dogs want to start acting up. Okay, so 2 and 4. Oh, that's why there's 2 sheets. I was wondering why I could not get a good line. Okay, 2 and 4, 2 and 4. Okay, you guys keep chugging along. I'm gonna tend to my dogs. Okay, we're still at 2 and 4. We need to get 12 of them done. 2, 4, 2, 4. So I'm just going to keep doing these in real time with you. I know it's just redundant, but I want to make sure that everyone has a chance, and maybe you're a faster scorer than you are a cutter, so everyone has a chance to keep up. We were going to do this live, but I'm moving, so I don't know if I would have my, I didn't know if I would have my craft stuff for the event, so I just want to make sure we got it done. So 2 and 4. Dixie, get your bow. And then 2 and 4. Keep going. You guys are going to have these measurements stuck in your head. You're going to be dreaming about 2 and 4. Okay. Let's do it. Keep going. Oh my goodness, I think my one dog took both. Nope, he didn't. Okay. And here we go. 2, 4. 2 and 4. Last 2. This paper is super thick, so when I had 2 pieces of paper together, it was not giving me a clean line. So make sure you only have 1 piece in at a time. 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Okay, so let's switch it up a little. Oh, I don't know if we want to cut or keep going. Let's keep cutting. So take these ones, clip them. Let me put a different color clip. Clip them somewhere. I'm gonna write these are the 2 by 4. So these are the inside pieces. Oh my goodness. These are the drawers, so the pullouts. And now we're gonna make the base or the case, however you want to call it. So let's move those away. Let's get our other 12 sheets. And this is where it gets a little tricky, so I really need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say, what I'm about to show you. If you have the Martha Stewart board, which honestly I suggest that you get the Score Pal. I do like it. Well, there's pros and cons to both. The Score Pal, I really like it a lot. The only thing I don't like is that the side is not open. So that's the only thing I don't like about it, but I love the layout of it better. Score Pal is in the shop. So what you need to do is you need to move your paper to align with this arrow. So if you do not have this board, you have the regular Score Pal, you need to pull your paper out a hair. So it needs to be in between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can get that a little closer. So see, this is the 1/8 of an inch mark right here. This little blue tick mark, and here's the 0. So you need to be in between that. So 1/16 of an inch from the 0. That's just going to make your life a whole lot easier, and you don't have to worry about some, wonky measurement. So we're going to do that. So make sure you pull your paper to the right, that's 1/16 of an inch, and you're going to go at 2 and 4 and 1/8. Okay? Again, pull your paper out in between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch. So you're not at the 1/8 of an inch, you're before the 1/8 of an inch. And you're going to go 2 and 4 and 1/8. Okay? So you'll know what you've done if your boxes are a little bit tight. It's okay. You'll just have to play with it to go in and out. Again, in between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to do 2, 4 and 1/8. In between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, 2 and 4/8. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. It's not a race, but we're going to get it done because I got to stay within 30 minutes and we're already at 14. So in between the 0 and the 1/8, 2, 4 and 1/8. In between the 0 and the 1/8, 2 4/8. Yes, I'm going to repeat myself probably on every single one of them, so I remember to do it. Because in some of my boxes, I did not remember to do it. So in between the 0 and the 8th, 2 4 1/8. Oh, come on. In between the 0 and the 8th. Well, nobody can say I didn't tell you this little piece, because you're going to hear it 12 times. 24 times, because I'm doing both sides. In between the 0 and the 8th of an inch. 2 4 1/8. In between the 0 and the 8th of an inch. 2 4 1/8. In between, y'all are probably like, stop saying it. But if I don't say it, I'm going to forget. In between the 0 and the 8th, 2 4 1/8. In between 2 4 1/8. Almost done, people. Almost done. And then the box just goes up super fast. 2 in between the 0 and the 8th, and then 2 4/8 in between. 2 4 1/8. There we go. In between. I feel like I'm a aerobics instructor, like from step class. I don't know if any of y'all have ever done like the little step class where you have to be on like the little Reebok step, and they're like, let's go, step up, in between the step, go. I took that class a couple times. It was pretty fun. It was like the Reebok step or something. Oh, anyway. Okay, so 6 more. Oh wow, I've only done 6. Oh yeah. Okay, in between and 2 4 1/8. In between 2 4 1/8. In between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch mark, 2 4/8. In between 2 4/8. It just, like I said, it just gives it that little extra 16 of an inch so your drawer slides in and out properly. It's not a huge deal if you miss on some of them, but you know, make your life easier and just pull the paper out a smidge bit. 2 4 1/8. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm going to go over my time, but that's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, so I pulled out my paper a smidge bit, and then 2 4 1/8 in between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, 2 4/8. In between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, 2 4/8. Sorry guys if this is making you sick, but you know, hopefully not. Hopefully you're doing your project right alongside with me. So I'm hoping, let me not jinx myself, but I'm hoping that there aren't any errors, that you can just follow along and you're good. Oops. Okay, and then I say oops. In between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, 2 4 1/8. Okay, we got through that. Hip hip hooray. We are done with our scoreboard. We are done with our paper trimmer. Well, kind of done with paper trimmer. This is my top. I'm going to go back to the original ones that we clipped with the green clip, the ones that we did 2 and 4. So we're just going to cut this like a box. I'm brave. I'm going to use my scissors. You can use your paper trimmer. Doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is cut up, it doesn't matter what side because we have a square. So cut 2 lines. Whatever 2 lines you cut, you need to do on the opposite side. So cut and cut. We're going to get the Big Daddy scissors. Ain't nobody got time for those little scissors. Okay, so we're just cutting out to the score line. We're just gonna make a regular box here, people. Nothing, no rocket science here. Okay, and we're cutting. We're having a great cutting time. You can do more than one. This is how you know if you scored correctly. Because I'm gonna be brave and do 2 at a time, which I don't think is a good idea. So don't do 2 at a time, because it shifted way too much. Cut exactly on the score line. If you have to trim some when you cut your when you make your box, that's fine. More than likely you're going to have to, because especially if you're scissor cutting, it's not a big deal. It's going to get covered up anyway. Not a big deal at all. If you scored perfectly, then you could probably do 2. I do not. So, and apparently I'm not cutting very well either. It's okay. Like I said, you can trim it. It's just paper. We will be okay. So basically you'll have 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3 on top, 1, 2, 3 on bottom. If that makes sense. If that just confused you, I'm sorry. You can fold before you cut. It doesn't matter. We probably should have. That's okay. We're already cutting. Got a little ahead of myself there. But again, it's just paper. It'll fold. It'll fold whether it's cut or whole. Doesn't matter. Okay. We are almost done. And you guessed it, we are going to do the same exact on our other boxes. These are very simple to do. Very relaxing because it's the same measurements over and over and over again. So you can make a couple of these. Say you have 3 or 4 grandchildren. I would stick with the 12 boxes. I wouldn't do 24 if you had, you know, if you're making multiples of these. Or if, you know, you have plenty of time. If you're starting now for Christmas, hey, make it with 24 boxes. Just change your configuration of your tree. That's it. Nothing hard. Okay. These would be super fun. You can make them really any paper. You know. Okay. So we're going to take our first one. This is where I was saying it would probably have been easier if we would have did this part before we cut, but that's okay. We just need to make sure we varnish our score lines. Man, this one I did not score very well at all. That's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and varnish and varnish. I mean, I guess we can go ahead and varnish all of them. You know what? I think we should do one at a time because it'll be easier to show you one at a time. Okay. Man, I didn't score very well either. Okay. Anyway, so we have our cut lines like this. So, you know, like so. What I like to do is make sure my middle flap goes on the outside. So I fold up these 2 flaps and I go ahead and apply glue. If you want to use your score tape, if you're making many of these, I would say use score tape for time because you can tape them easily and you know, so you kind of see how your box is coming along and you're going to glue this up. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I just prefer my outside, my middle loop to be on the outside because to me it looks better. And if you miscut or mismeasured or something, those inner flaps, you can't see them. So I put the two outer flaps together and then put the middle flap in. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm going to show you with glue. Doesn't matter if you go left over right, right over left. Does not matter at all. Oh gosh, my fingers are getting dirty. Oh no. Okay. And just glue this up. Okay. There you go. So here's one. So this is what I was saying. If I was going to use score tape, where are you? There you go. I would go ahead and put score tape on like that. And actually, I would be more accurate and measure them all out. Like 2 inches. What I like to do is take a ruler and then just go. I would do 2 inches, 2 inches, like that, and then just make sure that they're on correctly. And then I would do the opposite side. And keep going. And then I would just do all of them, all the taping at once. To be fair, I would cut like pieces and stick them somewhere so I could just pick them all up and keep it going. That's what I would do if I was making many of these at one time. That's how I did my son's. And then now all we have to do is, well, let's not just take this varnish. Let's not be reckless here, people. Okay. And this, and this. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and take the other side off. So this part does take a little while. Like, honestly, when I did the other one, I just left all of mine like this with the papers off. I took all the papers off at once, and then I started assembling my boxes. So, there we go. This one wanted to go the same way, so we're going to let it pop this up and pop this up. I don't know if it's faster, but you know, if you want to do everything, like for instance, when I was at work, or you know, if you're bringing it to work, I should say, you may want to. You can only do it in phases. So maybe you do all the scoring on one lunch break, and then you do all of the cutting on the next lunch break, and then you tear all the tape, whatever you have to do. Okay, so we're going to try to do this quickly. Okay, so this one I can already tell I did not cut very nicely. So I'm going to have to do some trimming. Okay, maybe not. Okay, let's scribble this glue on. Okay. So at this point, if you want to fast forward because you got the hang of your box, feel free to use your best friend, the fast forward button. Or if you want to continue on with me and listen to me ramble about nothing, you are more than welcome. Absolutely welcome. And for those of you who follow me on my YouTube, Crafting Like a Boss, or if you're on my my page, which is Coffee Cake and Crafting, yes, I am the same Tiffany. It's so funny when people request to join my page. They're always like, oh yeah, we heard it from Tiffany over on Country Craft Creations. I'm the same person. So I just have my YouTube is different than my Facebook, but it's me. I mean, I understand I may have like 12 personalities and flocked in my brain, but we're all the same person. Okay. And if you're fast, you can go ahead and glue your sides. I mean, I guess you don't have to be that fast, but after a while, you're going to get the hang of it. And see, like this one here, see how that has a little tiny bit of overhang? That's fine. That just means I didn't cut exactly on the score line, so I am just going to legit cut that off with some scissors. That's it. Problem solved. That is it, my dears. We don't, like I said, don't make it any types of stressful. Let's just keep it moving. So last year I had my full family, all 4 of us were together for Christmas because, you know, my kids are from previous marriages, so sometimes we have all the kids, and for a while one kid had to go with their other parent, so we only had 1 kid for Christmas for the longest time, and then when my kids got older, we were able to have both of them at the same time, which was always nice. And I think they enjoyed, you know, perhaps having a Christmas where it was just focused on them, and then, you know, I don't know, we try to make it work as best as we could. But I always do like my mom did. All of our wrapping paper is always in a theme. So my son, he's always military theme, camo. That's just been his thing his entire life. So, you know, when he was real little, he was Elmo, and, you know, my nephews were whatever character they were into. But as we got older, my son just, you know, he's really into military, so all of his have been real tree mossy oak, so super easy for the last, like, since he was probably 2. Now my daughter, her favorite color is blue, so we've done blue sparkles, we've done blue and silver, purples. Purple's her new favorite color. She was into, like when she was younger, she was into Monster High, so we did Monster High theme for her. So you knew whose gifts were what when you went under the tree. And my husband is always Superman. And then I'm always non-traditional Christmas colors. So I love like the blues, purples, and pinks, and like the silly penguins, shabby chic Christmas, that thing. And so even my mother-in-law got in on it, so it's pretty funny. But her tree, she has a theme every year, so I always ask her what her theme is, so that way I can match her theme, and I wrap their gifts. I think we try to out Martha Stewart each other, my mother-in-law and I do, because we wrap these gifts like it's nobody's business. It's just so fun, and you know, the little picks and stuff that you get at Michael's. I used to work at AC Moore, so you know, they'd be all decked out. And pretty much the wrapping is sometimes better than the gift. You get more excited. Well, not better than the gift, but more exciting. More exciting than the gift. Because everyone knows when you make a list, you know, it's hard when you're adults. You know, when you get a list, you know you're going to get exactly what's on your list. But you never know how it's going to come wrapped. So I think that's the fun of it. Yeah, so we kept that tradition. I hope my kids keep that tradition. You know, throughout their, as they're growing up, and we'll see. It's just fun. And then one year, we thought it'd be funny to mix the kids' gifts. like one or two. So, you know, Lisa got whatever Corey wanted. Corey got Corey got a Monster High doll, and Lisa got like a G.I. Joe. And we thought it was funny. They didn't think it was funny, but we thought it was hilarious. They were good sports about it, but you could tell they were annoyed. But, you know, that's the joy of being a parent. And then there was one year that we, my husband was gone, and Lisa was at her other grandparents' house on our mom's side, and Corey and I went to my mom's house, and so we didn't even put up a tree here because, you know, we were going to be gone we went there for like a week and a half. So we got one of these little, you know, those little tiny Christmas trees, and we put a few gifts under it, and it was so funny. I like to send my husband when he's deployed, we'll send him those little mini trees, or like the super tiny ones that are like maybe what, 4 or 5 inches. We'll send him a tiny tree or like a paper tree. Sometimes I make him a tree. When my son was little, we lived in England for a little bit, and he made the tree. We sent it to Lisa, and then she did her thing because she's an amazing artist. So she drew some things on it, and it was really fun. So, you know, that's my story. Because like I said, I'm just trying to get this done. I'm rambling on because it's already 35 minutes, and we still have the rest of the tops to do. But again, if you are comfortable, maybe because I'm talking, I'm going a little bit slower. But if you are comfortable, fast forward. And I am not offended because I don't know. Right? So you guys will see that I'm doing, like I said, it doesn't matter which way you go, left to right or right over left or whatever. Just make sure that that center panel is the last thing you pop up. That's what I like about the linen cardstock, that even if you cut it wonky, this was the one that I cut wonky, but you're not going to be able to tell because look, the paper just blends in so nicely. You can't tell that it's shorter than the other ones. I'm just cutting off some overhang I had, and I think there's some overhang right here. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. So last year I hosted a cookie exchange. That was super fun. If you guys ever have a chance to do a cookie exchange, I suggest you do it. Basically what we did was 7 of us got together, and you each make however many dozen cookies that, you know, you have per guest. So like basically we wanted enough for everyone to have either 2 or 3 of your cookies, and so depending on how many guests you have, that's how many dozen you need to make, if that makes sense. So we all made like 3 dozen of the cookies, so that way everyone can have 3. And, or actually I think everyone, I don't know what it was, whatever the math came out, we each had 3 of the person's cookies, and we had to make 3 different kinds of cookies. So it was a lot of cookie baking, but at the end we each had like gorgeous cookie trays we could share with our families. And I just took t-shirt boxes, and I lined them with parchment paper and tissue paper, so that way, well, I put the tissue paper down first so we could cover it after. Then I put the parchment paper in the middle, and then we just put the cookies on top, and it was so cute because it was just, you know, those t-shirt boxes that have like the Christmas lids, and that way it was cheap because I didn't tell anyone to bring, you know, a tin or anything, so I was like, oh well, we have to put our cookies somewhere. So I made the t-shirt boxes. So I just thought that was a great idea. So at my house, I figured just the cookie exchange would be, you know, 5 minutes, and then what do you do? So one of my cookies was, I had a cookie cutter that's the ugly Christmas sweater cookie cutter. So it's in the shape of a Christmas sweater, and then it has like little design things that you could bake into it, like reindeer and whatnot. So I baked those into it. Like you just run it like a kind of like a cookie stamp, and then when you bake it, that shape comes out. So I put that on there, and then I just made, you know, the cookie frosting, which is just confectioner's sugar, a little bit of milk, a little bit of vanilla, and then you just use your dyes. You know, you can dye in different colors. So I just put those out there, and then I had like the cookie writers, like those little gel things, and sprinkles, all kind of sprinkles and whatnot. And so before my guests came over, I frosted all the cookies in just plain white, and then they could decorate them however they wanted, because I needed to make sure that the frosting was dry before they did any of the gels or any other different color frostings. Or because I also had cookie markers, where they are markers you can draw. So I figured if somebody wanted to draw, they could, because the frosting was dry. Because, you know, it's like royal icing, and then you just make it, you know, it dries. It hardens as it dries. Okay, we're almost done with these boxes, guys. So yeah, so that's what I did. And so that was super fun, and we watched Elf. Like I had Elf playing in the background, and then A Christmas Story, and you know, there was only one kid that was there. I forgot where my kids were. My kids were at, I don't know, they were somewhere. But I just had Anaya with us, you know, my little crafting buddy. She was the only kid that was there. So, you know, the adults had wine and whatnot, and we had cocoa and stuff. So it was super fun. So if you guys were ever thinking about hosting it, you should. I mean, mine wasn't super, well, I did go super fancy a little bit. Walmart had these really cute gold and red, like metallic plates, and like the tablecloths were super cute. So Walmart did have those. So it was a little fancy. You know, it was inexpensive fancy, let's put it that way. And I didn't do food or anything like that. Actually, no, I'm lying. We did have some snacks. I think we had like, somebody brought over a pizza, and then we just had like finger foods. So it was super fun. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Perfect timing. My story's done. My boxes are done. Now we need to go ahead and do our top boxes. So these ones, we're just going to go ahead and score first. And you're going to score in all the score lines. Okay. And like so. Okay. We are going to do the same exact thing. We are going to cut up and cut up, cut up and up. Okay. Same thing. We are going to go tab over tab. We're going to move that. I keep sticking my finger in the glue. Okay. So when you do this box here, okay, do not freak out. Your tabs are not going to meet each other. That's why we're putting the tabs on the inside, and then we're covering that up with the middle tab. Okay, so if yours do not match, that is perfectly okay. If they do match, like that one, I don't know how that matches. It's not supposed to. But it does. So, Miracle of Christmas, I guess. So don't freak out if they do or don't match. They're not supposed to, because we have that wonky measurement, you know, that in between the 0 and the 1/8 of an inch, right? So they will match when you put your middle flap up. Well, they should match, but for me, I scored, or I cut wrong, so I just gotta take that little overhang off. Okay, again, this doesn't match. We're about to cover that business up. Here we go. Right. Okay, for the sake of time and video and me rambling, I'm going to do one more with you guys, and then I'm going to pause it, and you guys pause it, get all of your boxes done, and then we will reconvene. Okay, so we're just going to do one more. I'm going to keep my boxes separate. So we're folding, and we're burnishing, and we're folding, and we're burnishing, and we're folding, and we're burnishing. Okay, now we're going to cut. It honestly doesn't matter where to cut, but when you do like a million of these, you're going to get the hang of which side you think is going to match better. So let's go ahead and glue. Again, I'm not worried that my sides are not matching, because they're not going to match. And if they do, then you just scored wonky, like I did. Because they're not supposed to match. They're not supposed to be even. Again, it doesn't matter which side you glue on. Okay. So my son was little, and we were like standing in line somewhere, or like we were at the bank. Mainly at the bank. I used to make him hold onto the color line, and like we'd sit there and go, and we're holding, and we're holding, and we're on the edge, and we're holding, and he would sit there for however long it was, and just sit there and going, and I'm holding, and I'm not falling, my fingers are getting tired, but I'm still holding. It just kept him entertained for however long my transaction was, and it used to crack the tellers up. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to pause it, and you guys are going to finish off yours. I'm going to finish off mine, and we will come back together. But I was running my mouth with that one, so you might have been distracted. So we fold it and burnished. Because you can even tell right here, see that gap? It doesn't line up. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and cut. So we're just cutting that bottom, flipping it over, cutting it. Some people do their boxes a little bit more fancy than I do. I'm not going to tell you the method they do because I don't want to confuse you. But it's way more fancy, but to me it's way more work. And y'all know I craft efficient, not hard. But if you have a better way to put together a box, have at it, right? Right. Okay. And this one. And I think with the wet glue, I think you're getting a little bit more sturdiness. So you can, you know, give it to the little ones. Okay, cutting off overhang, and this one has a tiny, tiny bit, but I think it's too small to fit my scissors. Nope. That was really petty of me to take this little tiny, whatever. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause it, and then I want you to pause right now. I want you to finish your boxes, and then we'll meet back up. Okay, so all of the boxes are made, so we have our 12 inside and our 12 outside. how we're going to put them together is you're going to take your bigger box here, and where you had to put the 3 flaps together, you are going to put those top to bottom, and then on your the smaller boxes, the first ones we did, you're going to put the 3 flaps left to right, so that way your box is sturdy on all 4 sides. Does that make sense? So if you see here, this is where we glued the flap up. So these 2 sides are very flimsy. We need to make those go opposite the flimsy sides on the big box. So that way your boxes have some sturdiness. If you forget which pile is what, it's very easy because as you saw, they did not fit in there. So I'm making so my boxes pull out. If you don't want to do that and you want to make it maybe a different type of advent calendar, you want to do like, I don't know, a different configuration, you can make the box go on top like a regular box. Or if you're going to use this tutorial for something else, yeah, feel free. Okay, so we're just going to put all of these together. And where's my flimsy? Where's my flimsy? Flimsy. Where's my flimsy? And if you, I did this box really wonky, I didn't cut the top. And just play around with it. If you know, one side of your box looks nicer than the other, make that the front. It doesn't matter. It's a square. But what you want is the top and bottom to have the 3 tabs, and the left and right. Or excuse me, just the top and bottom. Because when you glue them together, I guess it doesn't matter, honestly. As long as you put them opposite. I don't like the side of that, so I'm going to make this the front. There we go. So it's, you know, just, and honestly, you're going to cover it with paper, so it doesn't really matter. But like for me, my OCD doesn't allow me to keep these little tiny shreds, these little tiny overhang, and I mean, it's pitiful how much is left. But I saw it, so I had to cut it. And I want this one to be the front. Okay, just should be a few more. Okay. Wait a minute. Hey. See, like this one, I cut it just a little bit weird. It'll fit, but it's weird. It'll be okay. It will be just fine. I have no idea what I did with this one. Maybe I cut it too small. Is there another one like that? Nope, all these other ones line up perfectly. See, like this one, I can barely get it in and out. Let me see if I put it in the wrong. I mean, it's a very tight fit, so I must have just mismeasured. It's okay. It is okay. Oh, you know what? There's a lot of overhang on this one, that's why. Whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do is, okay, now it matches decently. Okay, so now we're just going to put them together. So I just glued mine together. I did 2. It's basically 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you only want 1 on the bottom, then you only have to have 1 on the bottom, but then you don't get 12 days of Christmas, you get 11. So honestly, I just glued mine together. This is where I was saying if you wanted to add reinforcements, you can. I don't think it's necessary. So line the boxes up. I line the back of the boxes, not the front. There you go. There's your 2. And then 3. I'm going to redo that box because I don't like it. It doesn't close. It's making me upset. We're going to just go ahead and redo that one in a minute. Okay. That one I probably didn't line it up. I probably didn't go in between the 0 and the 8. Okay. So line them up. And I line them up at the top like this one for some reason. They all should be the same exact size. That one's bigger. But it's not going to matter because when you stack them, you're not going to see it. So I'm just putting glue. This is going to be my 3 stacks. I'm lining up the back. Okay. That's my 3. Okay. So here's my, actually I need 4. Okay, so here's my 4 stacker. And if you want, like I said, you can cut a piece of paper and put it on top here just to kind of reinforce it. I'm okay. I feel this paper is sturdy enough. But if you need that extra stability in your life, go for it. Okay, now I need my 3 boxes. So I'm just gonna glue. Oops. Again, I'm lining up the backs because the front you're not gonna notice because the drawers don't necessarily line up, and then you'll have paper on them and all that, so you won't notice any of that business. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. And when I'm off camera, all I'm doing is just gluing. I just can't see. Okay. So 3. So I did 2, 4, 3. Just give it a second to dry. Now I need 2. I put my boxes together first, and then I decorated them. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. And honestly, if you wanted to do the drawers in the full pattern paper, you could do that. Like the outside, this part, that'd be cute too. Or even the, you know, if you wanted to do the pull out, it doesn't matter. That'd be cute if you just did the whole pattern paper, and that way you don't have to piece it together. So then you just need the one. So it's just like that. So now all I'm gonna do is glue them together. So I'm gonna glue, this is the bottom 2, the trunk, and we're just gonna, again, line up the backs. So I just turned them on their side so I can line up the backs. Like I said, don't worry about if you have misshapen boxes like this. You see how it's a little bit bigger, but guess what? When you put your paper on, you're not going to see any of that. And if anybody notices that 1/18 of an inch, well, then they deserve to see it, I guess. Okay, so there's the beginning of it. Okay, just making sure I glue the right side. So now we're going to do 3. So now your 3 boxes, you're going to kind of center them. What I like to do is center the middle box with the middle piece. I just eyeball it a little bit, put a little mark where I like it. Make sure I'm gluing the correct side, which is going to be these 3. This is the bottom. So I'm just tracing the rectangle and coloring it in. Now I'm going to put this back, and so I don't have to think about it because I have my glue. Line up my pencil mark, line up my backs. You can do exact measurements from either side if you like. Not me, I'm okay. Wherever it falls, that's where it falls. See how cute that is so far? Okay. Our 2 boxes, again, we're going to try to line these up as best as we can in the middle. And I'm just going to pencil mark it where I feel the middle is. And then I'm just tracing. And I'm going to line up that pencil mark. It's easier to have that pencil mark so you don't have to think about it when you have the glue on there. Because you just need to slap that glue down. Because, I mean, the glitter glue dries pretty quickly, so you don't want to be fumbling with the center, wasting a whole bunch of glue. And then we need our 1. Did I miss one? Because I only need 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I made 13. I don't know why I made 13, but I did. I told you guys I miscut the first time I started the video. So, and that's probably why this didn't work out, because I don't think, this might have been something else I was working on. Yeah, I don't know. We don't need it. Again, let me, ooh, I just almost recklessly did this. Let me find the middle, kind of, sort of. Let me see how off I am. Where's my Tim Holtz ruler? Okay. Ha. I am actually spot on with the middle. Go me. Sometimes I can eyeball the middle really well. I mean, this is 2 inches, so I can kind of eyeball an inch. Okay. And here's the fun fact about these. If you glued them the wrong way, flip the drawer, and you're good to go. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. Okay. There you go. So here is your tree full of your glue and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause. I'm going to decorate this thing, and you guys will see the final product. But you are pretty much done at this point. Now I'm just going to clean up some of my boxes. Like this one's too long. I can see where I didn't trim enough of my little slivers. Or maybe I'll just make that the back. Doesn't matter. We'll find it. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and decorate it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause. You guys decorate your hearts out. I did mine 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 on the front here, and on these big sizes. And then I just took 1 square and I cut it in half for the tiny little steps. Okay, so I'll be back. You guys pause and decorate. Okay, so I finished decorating mine, and here is how it turned out. So super cute. I just I decided just to go with the candy paper. I just thought it was so cute. And then on the other side were those candy ropes. So I did that as a trunk. And then I use a tiny little punch and some of the numbers, excuse me, again, cut out from my cameo. I made these two bows on top here. So I only had a little bit of ribbon left. So I just made this bow. This is with the wired ribbon, and this is just with regular, you know, dollar ribbon from Dollar. I think this came from Dollar Tree. I don't know. So I just kind of made a full ribbon, and I had these little stars. Somebody had this as their packaging in a swap that I received, so I just reused it. I made these tiny little bows, and I had some of this star trim left over from last Christmas. I just added to each bow, so I made it, you know, like stars and bows. So that's the pool on this one. I just thought it came out so super cute. Here it is standing up. I didn't do anything with the back. I haven't decided if I am going to cover it like I did this one. Uh-oh, I dropped something. This one I covered the back. I probably will cover the back, but I haven't decided what I want to cover it in. Whether I just want the red or if I use another piece of the paper. But I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you make one. It does go a little bit quicker if you're not talking. So, but yeah, so there's my final project, guys. I hope you like it, and Merry Christmas in the summer.